jugs from your home, the shelf dimensions, and paper sizes for now. There was a jug in the kitchen, and it was yellow, except for something on the side, like burger or berger, and it turned out to be berger the aperitif. And it was a bottle on the shelf in the gallery, and it was green. It was a jug in the kitchen, it was yellow, so I assumed it was a milk jug, and it was yellow, or even a butter jug, but it was on the bigger side for a milk jug and would have certainly held a lot of butter. Certainly held a lot of butter. It was the colour, and it was the colour. It was the colour of I can't believe it's not butter. And it was the colour, believe it's not butter. It was the colour, believe it's not butter. It was the colour, believe it's not butter. And it was, I wonder, it was the colour of, it was the colour, believe it's not butter. Because it's not butter. Believe it's not butter. And if it was, I wonder if it was the colour because it's not butter. But that was more of a creamy, pearlescent colour, believe it's not butter. Pastis was developed after the prohibition of absinthe and a kind of weaker alternative. Weaker because of the water, water because of the blood thinner, the berger jug, or the more widely the berger brown, had a jingle that Peter knows. And the colour of I can't believe it's not butter, the colour of butter, the jingle of Peter, uses the word berger 6 times. And of course, in the gallery there are 6 shelves with shelf dimensions and paper sizes for now. Jugs from your home. Jugs from your home. Jugs from your home. And jugs and jug certainly has something to do with jugular and words like gargoyle and its connection to the throat, and the gargle, and the website glugglejugs.co.uk. And those sounds made with the throat and also might be made with the vessels. And the growlers, as people carried their beer home from the pub in their growlers, and the fizzing and slapping against the sides of their growlers, and the carbon dioxide escaped and created a growling noise. And some sources suggest the growling is also a reference to the arguments between the buyer of the beer and the pub landlord. And some sources suggest the growling is also a reference to gluten and the arguments between the buyer of the beer and the pub landlord, who would also disagree on the quantity poured. Who would often disagree on the quantity poured. The pub landlord, the quantity poured. See also the Yorkshire artisan pork pie, the vagina, and the colloquial term for a large beverage can, also known as a toll boy. See also the buyer of the beer, the pub landlord, and the quantity poured. See also the jugs from your home, the shelf dimensions, and paper sizes for now. See also the pub from your home, the hair, the pub from your home, the hair, not dispersed, though arms, the hair, and often disagree in the quantity poured for now. There was a jug in the kitchen, and everything you do, and there were 5 definitions, and they were 5 dimensions, there were 5 definitions, and they were all yellow, and everything you do, and they were all yellow. There was a serving vessel or container, circular in cross-section and typically higher than it is wide, with a relatively small mouth or spout, an ear handle, and often a stopper or top in the kitchen. There was an amount that a jug can hold in the kitchen. There was a slang jail in the kitchen. There was a vulgar slang, chiefly in the plural, women's breasts in the kitchen. There was a New Zealand kettle in the kitchen. There was a nickname for the given names Joan, Joanna, and Jenny in the kitchen. Jugular veins are veins that bring deoxygenated bloodula from the head to the cardiovascular via the superior vena cava. Jugular veins are veins that are subject to a popular idiom in the English language, deriving from its status as the vein that is the most vulnerable to attack, the vein that is the vein that is. Actually, the first time I came around here, we were having a cup of tea in the kitchen, having a cup of coffee in the kitchen, having a cup of tea in the kitchen, and I saw a jug on the high shelf, on the low shelf. It was the jug on the high shelf here, on the low shelf in the kitchen, and it had a word on it. A milk jug, buttery yellow, and it had the word burger on it, mustardy yellow, and ochre, yellow ochre, burger, or berger. That's all I could remember when we met in December. Then berger, 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 and something parfait when I came back in May. Peter wrote 6 times of berger for me and sang that song, but I can't remember how it goes, and I can't find it online. I can't remember, I can't find it, can't remember, can't find it. So the jugs from your home, and the paper sizes for now, and the shelf dimensions, not to mention the anxiety level rising now, and we still have the myths around the gargoyle or the goji as a serpent or dragon-like creature, and we still have the ray-finned fish, the gar, not to mention the fish jug and its elongated body, heavily armoured with ganoid scales and similarly paranoid elongated jaws filled with long sharp teeth, and we still have the images of the jugs, and we still have the picture of the pictures found around the house and in the garden, and in another smaller picture in the garden, and another smaller picture in the kitchen, and another bigger picture in the bathroom, and not to mention the price of fish jug and glug jugs are fish-shaped water jugs, and when filled they produce a glug glug sound when poured. And one of the images of the jugs was a drawing of 3 pictures, which when I cropped the image for use on social media and cut off the first 3 letters of the word berger, spelling ger, which is a Hebrew word often translated as stranger, which sounds like gar, which is a fish, which sounds like garon, which is Hebrew for throat, and it was a plaster cast of my teeth on the shelf in the gallery, and it was yellow, and all the things you do, and it was called yellow, and it was putty in my mouth, and it was putty in my mouth, and it goes on the teeth soon, and soon solidifies. It was putty in my mouth, and it just tickles the back of the throat, and that plaster cast of the bottom layer of my teeth for alignment purposes. And I wonder if there's a kind of vessel I could make from such a cast, and I wonder if it would be difficult to produce a cast of a human throat without suffocating the throat, without suffocating the throat. And I wonder if I am suffocating a dead subject now. And the word processor corrects this to suffocating the subject. And I wonder if I am sugarcoating the subject, and I'm wounded if I am sugar catering the subject. And I wonder about my breathing now, or at least when I was running, and how that breath could be somehow translated into a jug or a vessel at least, which begs the question as to whether a cast of the breath, as it exists in the lungs, is an audio recording of an exhalation, or whether it's a 3D rendering of some kind of the air passage, or whether it's a 3D printed hamburger of any kind, and it exits the lungs via the throat, via the mouth, and whether it's just blowing up a balloon, or whether it's melted plastic and plastic cast A4 papers in various clays, and today's printed off bergers, written by Peter, painted each one with glue, and realised the word was written 6 times, and realised the word has 6 letters, and realised that there were 6 shelves, and various variations on the phrase used twice. Shelf, your home from home, jugs, the shelf jugs, and the dimensions from your paper sizes for now, and the paper sizes 4 dimensions now. And there are juggernauts, there are shelves, and there is paper, and jugs go on the shelves, and paper is the means of communicating the dimensions of the shelves. And trying to remember the name of the show, is it housework, is it homework, is it housework, is it homework, and there is paperwork. A sounds like 8, A looks like a 4. This shelf is 84 centimetres wide. A4 paper on its side is 21 centimetres wide. 4 times 21 is 84. And finally, an English translation, the colour of butter of the jingle of Peter. Shepherd, shepherd, shepherd. Berger means shepherd. Shepherd, shepherd, shepherd. The perfect alcoholic drink taken before a meal to stimulate the appetite. That's a definition of aperitif. Let's ask again. Shepherd, shepherd, shepherd. Which uses the word shepherd 6 times, and so far I've mentioned it 7 times, and of course in the gallery there are 6 shelves with shelf dimensions and paper sizes for now. Jugs from your home, there was a jug in and everything, there was a bottle on the shelf in the gallery, there was a serving vessel or container, there was a mouth, there was an amount, there was a slang, there was a vulgar slang, chiefly in the plural, there was a New Zealand slang, there was a nickname for the given names, there was a plastic cast of my teeth on the shelf in the gallery, there was a jug in the kitchen, jug in the kitchen, the kitchen, the kitchen, the kitchen, 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 kitchen. Thank you very much.